We need a macroeconomic Caleb Hammer. All right, so macroeconomics is a complicated word for the economics of like an entire country or the world. And Caleb Hammer is a pretty good personal finance advisor. And he'll just berate you if you have a lot of credit card debt, which could be pretty kind of fun. So if you look at America, that's kind of what we're dealing with today. Trump has one approach to dealing with this by trying to cut back on spending. You don't really fix all these problems. I have a couple quick suggestions. So you can try to fix a trade deficit with tariffs, but it doesn't really work. What can work is something called a value-added tax. And this is something that Europe uses and China uses. Basically, it's like a sales tax built into companies. And what it does is it increases costs just a little bit. And then you kind of take that money and you use it as a source of tax revenue. And that allows people to end up saving a little bit more money. It's like enforced savings. Instead of just spending all the money on a big new car, you buy a slightly smaller car. And that then gives you money that you can use for a VAT rebate. And that is what you can do to focus on exporting economies, like exporting industries. So that rebate can increase the number of exports that you send out. And that is what China does. Value-added tax plus a VAT rebate for exporting industries. And that means they sell more and then they can kind of build up some savings. America has the opposite. We kind of have a consumer economy that focuses more on getting everybody to spend as much money as possible. This is actually what John Maynard Keynes wrote about, which is kind of interesting. So John Maynard Keynes basically was worried about avoiding depressions by making sure that people kept spending money. One of the problems with New York City is if you own property and you use mass transit and walk, you can save up a lot of money. So we fix that by kind of having everybody in America buy an expensive car that breaks down after like, I don't know, 7 years, and you got to go buy a new one or fix it. That kind of keeps the economy turbocharged. But consumers ended up with a lot of debt. People even use car loans to buy a car, which is totally crazy. Homes are really expensive because you have to make room for cars, so you can't build a lot of homes. And now all of a sudden, 40% of Americans can't save for retirement. So we may have overcorrected in the consumer economy. You can fix it maybe with a tariff, but the problem is the tariff doesn't work because other countries are going to retaliate with tariffs of their own, and then you just end up losing jobs. The nice thing about a value-added tax is that you can kind of still keep the jobs and focus more on exports. All of these things are complicated. I need to try to channel Caleb Hammer's anger with this, and there's a whole lot more going on, whole lot of other stuff going on. Macroeconomics is kind of cool. We're trying to fix it, but we're not really doing all of the right moves right now.